Hey, what's up, everybody? Cledus T, Judd, back with our second episode. I never thought they'd keep me this long, of Life, Learning, and Lemonade, brought to you by OVP Health. And man, am I excited! We got a rock star on here today. I met Jackie several years ago when I came down to our South Point location, and Stacy and I did, and got to walk the halls and meet a lot of the people. Got to sign a few autographs, which was really fun. And man, that place, just for the amount of time that I was there, man, you run that place like clockwork.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Absolutely. You ain't got to warm up a Lamborghini, do you?
No.
So, Jackie, I really wanted to talk to you a little bit about the initial process of somebody coming in and going through the recovery process. So when they come in, and they're there for 30 days, most people always ask, well, I went through my 30 days, I got that under my belt, but then what am I going to do? Where do I go from there? I have nowhere to go. So at OVP, we've kind of created some place that there is a place to go, a reputable place to go. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so most patients initially come in crisis. So we work with them, get them stabilized. Many are suffering pretty complex medical needs. So it takes a little bit of time. At the 30-day mark, they're generally getting their mind a little clearer, stable on their medications. They've seen medical treatment, psychiatric treatment. And so really they start to begin planning, what do I do? Because so many of them are homeless or, have lost the support that really they have someone to go back to, not quite ready for outpatient because they know relapse is high. So we're really excited to introduce our new 3.1 building. It's an expansion of the current place at the South Point location. This is really an avenue for transition. So in the past, we would get them at their 30-day mark, and we're sending them out to basic sober living environments where we get calls from them 2 or 3 days later that it's just not the environment that they are really going to thrive in.
Right.
Whether it's just not structured enough. So with our 3.1, we're going to be able to offer medically managed supervision there so that they do have structure with peer support, case managers, and nursing staff to help, continue the education, the medication management, so that they can transition just a little bit smoother.
Man, I tell you, from my perspective, and I want to see how you feel about this, the transition part of it is as important, if not the first day of walking in to seek recovery.
It absolutely is. We get them at that 30-day mark, and they're super excited.
Right.
Their head's clear. They feel better than they have in many, many years, most of them, but just still need that structure. And so many of your other transitional environments like sober livings, they just don't have the structure to keep them right on that path. So.
How long can they stay in transition? What's required of them? When some places in our area make sure that they're required to work, maintain a job, pay rent, that sort of thing. So what happens in our environment?
Yeah, so it's very individualized depending on where everybody's at in their recovery. People recover a little bit slower. It depends. So our goal is to really start those basic life skills. Help them. Many of them have never had a job, so help them with basic resume writing, how to fill out applications, having peer supports right beside them, taking them out each day to fill out applications, to get acclimated with the environment outside of those four walls, because it's easy to stay sober in four walls and structure, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So it's just about getting them out there and reacclimated to the world. So
how do you know, as a counselor, how do you know, and maybe you don't know, maybe there's no way to tell, Doug and I were talking earlier, addicts, me being one, can be very manipulative people, extremely manipulative. They can tell you, oh, I got this, I'm good, don't worry about me, knowing that that's not always the case. What do you look for going through that process when you think, okay, you know what, Mary over there, she's ready. She's ready.
When we built our program at the South Point location, we did it a little differently than most places. So we built it on motivation, positivity, building rapport, creating relationships, giving them something that they've lacked in their life. So many of them have really, the stigma's rough. They're treated terribly, whether it's in their family environment, and some of it's because they've burnt bridges, right? At the local hospitals, they don't get treated super well. So we wanted an environment that they not just felt safe, but they felt loved. And so I think when you create that relationship with them, it does help. It helps to decrease the manipulation a little bit. We talk a lot about their moral compass and how to get that right. And it's funny, we talk about the light bulb too, but you can see the light come back on.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the best part. That's what makes it all worthwhile is when you see that light. They come in so broken, and when that light bulb truly comes on, they become motivated, and we tell them, we can meet you halfway, right? We can meet you 50% of the way, but you've got to give the other 50. And that's more than just stopping using illicit substance, right? That's about being honest, being truthful, really digging into those traumas that's caused some of this stuff and getting real.
Yeah, you got to dig deep on some of that
You
stuff.
do.
I've in and out of counseling when in psych wards when I was young, and I think it's came such a long way from when I was so young. It was so taboo back in the day. We had mentioned in an earlier podcast that when I asked my mom, hey, I've been out of school for 5 days, what I tell my friends where I've been, when I was laid up in a psych ward, down in Marietta, Georgia, and my mom didn't know what to say. She wasn't privy to the. She just said, for God's sakes, whatever you do, don't tell them you were in a mental hospital.
Right, for the fear.
Yeah, for the fear of, of course, eventually I've tried to use all of that trauma and figure out where it came from. But I think recovery has came such a long way in the last, since I'm 22 years. If I make it to September 11th this year, I'll have 22 years under my belt. But it's come a long way, and there's no reason to not be able to reach out and get help now. I don't
That's
think.
Right. You can at least talk about it now.
Absolutely.
I think so many people who suffer from substance use disorder have so much shame and guilt from the people they hurt. Because you hurt the people that you love.
Absolutely.
But you can talk about it. I think it takes people like us getting out in those communities and educating. Because if you don't know someone who's suffered from substance use, you're probably not telling the truth.
Oh, I agree 100%, 100%. Last question I'm going to ask you. I'm going to put you on the spot here. So, because I have this question posed to me all the time. It's not really a question. It's a statement. I was in the DMV getting my license renewed last year. And a young lady behind the glass was asking me about, where I was working at in recovery. Was proud to be there. And a gentleman was getting his license next to me, and he said, shouldn't have done it to start with. We're talking about a particular person. Self-induced. Shouldn't have done it to start with. How do you answer those naysayers that always resort to shouldn't have done it to start with? Duh. That's what I say. I didn't mean for that to happen. I always say there's only one way to prevent 100% of drug addiction. That's never to do it to start with.
Yeah.
So if we can cut it off at young ages so that they never venture out to try it. I wished I'd have never tried crystal meth on that summer afternoon that changed my life for what I thought for an hour and a half for the better, which turned into a complete disaster. Absolutely. Yeah. I searched for that 5 minutes after I drank that coffee with that meth in it. I thought the light bulb went off, a different light bulb. And I thought, I finally found it. Thank you, Jesus. This is what I've been looking for. This has saved me. I'm focused, clarity, until, that come down 12, 13 hours later. And then I searched for that high up until I quit, September 11th of 2004. Never found it. Unattainable. Yeah. So what do you say to those people that go, shouldn't have done to start with?
Yeah, I mean, that's common. You see that a lot. I think for me, I would hope, and I would probably say that I hope that you never have a loved one who suffers, because you never want to be that person that someone's afraid to reach out to.
Yeah.
Because those people end up dead. If you don't have someone that you can reach out to, someone that you can trust, that in a non-judgmental way, people end up dead, and unfortunately, it's good people. It doesn't discriminate.
No.
It's across the lifespan. We're seeing it younger and younger. We talked earlier, kids as parents, they're being raised by grandparents. So you want to be the person who someone can reach out to if they need help. So if you have that negative mindset, I would just invite someone to spend some time with the recovery community.
Yeah, come on down. I always say our door's open.
Yeah.
Set up. You can come unannounced. I would imagine.
Yep.
We'll meet you down there. Walk these halls. Meet these people.
Yep.
They're great people that some bad circumstances happen. And I would just say in closing, I think the key word that came out of all this conversation is just compassion. just find some compassion for those that maybe you don't suffer from it. Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I'd high five you. But a lot of us do suffer from it. So have some compassion, and lives are worth living.
They are.
And thank you so much. You're a rock star in this world.
I love what I do, and it's great to see when you see somebody get their life back. There's no paycheck that can make that any better.
Paycheck? Do you get a paycheck?
Very minimal.
All right. Love you. Thank y'all so much for watching. We appreciate you watching Life Learning and, of course, Lemonade. And we hope that we made a couple of your lemons turn into lemonade by watching this podcast. Share it with those people that you need to. Love you. Bye. See you.